Carlo, welcome back, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is
Thanks
gonna be
for having
fun.
me back, man.
It's a new series that we're trying, and you're awesome to be the guinea pig on this. It's I don't know the name yet. I think it's gonna be something like artists on artists. It sounds sort of kinky, but if you have a better idea, if you if you have a better idea, let me know.
Yeah, yeah,
But you are one of those artists that clearly is influenced by the past, right? Because
yeah,
you
yeah,
love, it's obvious you love Dutch painting.
yeah.
And so to have you back to talk about something I never talk about in interviews. I don't know if you've noticed this. I don't know if you even listen to the podcast, but
I do.
I
I
never
listen
ask
to it a lot,
people.
by the way.
Well, thank you. I
Yeah,
never ask people who they're inspired by. Have you
yeah.
noticed that? I never do. I don't think I do
I don't
anyway.
know. I
And
don't. I can't say I've noticed that, but maybe
yeah.
you're right.
And I'm not sure why I don't. I guess but this is different than that. I don't just want to know who you're inspired by. I want to know why you're inspired by them, what inspires you, like
Yeah,
what it is that moves you enough by by the art of these artists, technicians, whatever, that makes you dedicate a large part of your life and career to following these guys or
yeah,
women. Do we have any
yeah,
women in the list on the list?
yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So the two main people we're talking about. One of them's a woman, and these two painters are sort of what I look at as the apex of Dutch flower painting, the very best, the cream of the crop.
Okay, so I have a question for you. So when I first
Yeah,
met you, it was back in would have been like 2004 at
yeah,
the
yeah.
Armory
That's
show.
the Armory show. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
and your mom
another
was
lifetime
there.
ago.
That was awesome. And I bought that cheesecake from you,
Yeah,
and it's I still have that. I love that painting, man. And then I
oh, good.
eventually got those pumpkins from you.
Yeah,
I'd buy
yeah.
everything you painted if I could afford it. But then when was it that you made the shift? I mean, you've always been very classically trained. You've always had this sort of old school aesthetic in your work.
Yeah.
But then one day or over a short period of time, it seemed like you just completely went to Dutch style still life painting. What was it that made you make that shift?
Um, Man, that's a good question. So it happened. uh, I guess this all sort of started a little bit before COVID. Um, I want to say around like 2019 ish, and I just sort of had the idea that I had been painting flowers already for a number of years at that point, but I was sort of doing it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it now. I was painting a little more atmospherically, and I was looking at people like Fantin Latour, and I was looking at 19th century flower painters, but specifically Fantin Latour and um, uh, George Cochran Lambden is another one I was looking at. Uh, these guys were, if you're familiar, I'm sure you're familiar with Fantin's work,
Mm-hmm.
but very painterly, atmospheric, lots of paint. Just he wasn't, very very um, also very particular and precise with drawing, but also very painterly too. Uh, so I was sort of inspired by that, but there was a disconnect between my flower painting and everything else I painted. So I tended to paint like regular still life, say, um, you know, just traditional still life, a little bit more sort of like tightly controlled and a little bit more, um, I don't know, a little bit more nuanced, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But so I guess I wanted to reconcile that, sort of reconcile the two somehow. Uh, doing, also that sort of same nuance and that same level of detail and observation to flowers, and which I felt like I was kind of doing these a little bit more atmospheric, kind of looser, not sloppy flowers, but just looser, a little bit more of a, um, um, and it felt sort of sketchier, I guess, in a sense. I don't know if that's the right word, but so anyway, that was the beginning of it. So to sort of reconcile more precise flower painting, take it to a deeper level. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started doing little ones, practice little paintings, studies
Those were
of
those
flowers.
ones where it was just like a flower on a plain background, or even just a canvas.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
I remember
I
those.
started doing them on panel. I switched over to panel, and I started doing them on just this plain neutral background,
Mm-hmm.
light brown, like almost like a sand color or something, right?
Yeah.
Um, Really, actually, be more accurate, is really sort of the color of old faded paper. That was the idea behind it.
Really.
Sort of
Okay.
old faded paper. So um, so I started doing those, and then I did more and more and more, and eventually I sort of felt like, okay, I think I'm making sense of this sort of uh, this newer process, and so the next step was to sort of take a bunch of flowers and squeeze them in a little panel together and make an imaginary flower piece. Just sort of, not with a veil, them in different positions and kind of
Right.
uh, basically the analogy would be sort of like a collage. It's kind of like a collage,
Yeah.
right? So, and you're doing them you're not setting up a vase and painting what you see. It's just you paint a flower and then you paint another one, and you just sort of create this collage. And so that was the next step. And once I did a couple of those, then I just started going into to like, yeah, like, so those were that's more recent, but that was the general idea. Yeah, the flower
Okay. Yeah.
stems, the single
But so
flower
you're
stems.
still doing these occasionally.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do them every spring, especially spring. Tulip season, and these tulips and different things that I study in the spring end up in my paintings, my big paintings.
God, I
So
never
then
get enough of
that
your work, dude. My gosh, it's so good. Man. Okay. Sorry to cut you off.
no, it's okay. But see, a lot of these studies. So I have this catalog of studies, and these studies can be worked into to bigger flower pieces now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But you're still looking when you're doing these. You were looking at these 19th century painters, though.
no, at this point I sort of went way back,
Oh,
two,
okay.
300 years. So I'm looking at Jan van Hysum, which is one of the people we're going to talk about, Rachel Ruysch, which is the other person we're going to talk about, and others. So I was really at this point, I had sort of left the 19th century behind, and kind of moving backwards in time.
So I got a question for you before we get
Yeah,
into these people who you're inspired by.
yeah.
What do you say? And forgive me for springing this on you because I just thought of it. I promise. I didn't plan on asking you this, just
That's okay.
sprung on me. What do you say to the critics of, the critics that say something like, this is just painting old fashioned art. It's not relevant today. It's not contemporary. It has no, meaning in our contemporary lives. What do you say to those types of critics? Because I hear the same types of things. I'm painting Bible
Yeah,
stuff, so like,
yeah,
so obviously it's not coming from me, but
yeah.
I've heard these types of
Oh,
criticisms
sure.
of
Yeah,
artists like us. Like, what do you
yeah.
say to that, and why don't you buy into it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen. I say this is what I say: zero, nothing.
You don't
I don't
give a
have to defend
crap.
myself. No, I don't. I don't need to defend myself to any, or prove,
Okay, but
explain
what are your
myself.
thoughts on it though?
Well, no, it's listen. Um, Dutch flower painting. Um, it didn't happen in a vacuum. I mean, so if let's say we're just talking about Dutch flower painting, for instance.
Yeah.
Um, that developed. There's like a line of painters that developed over the course of a century or more. I mean, actually several centuries, but the sort of from the beginnings of it, you're talking about like 1560s, like really way back. If you go to the
Mm-hmm.
very beginnings of independent flower paintings, up until the sort of the Dutch Golden Age. I mean, you were talking about 100 years there. A lot of these, painters, they were aware of each other. Some of them studied with one another. So there was like this line of painters that it wasn't like they all sort of were. I mean, they were learning from each other.
Right.
So they created this sort of uh, this sort of line of um, painting flower pieces, developing the genre, and that continued for, I mean, hundreds of years. Um, so I mean, they were, in a sense, they were all sort of copying or learning from each other. I don't feel like I'm really doing anything different. I'm sort of picking up that line way down the line. Okay, like I mean, and so what if it's like, so who cares if it's 2025 and I'm painting flowers? I mean, who cares? Like, I listen, don't, nobody has to like it. Nobody's
Yeah.
obligated to like what I do.
Amen to that.
Nobody's obligated to like my work. I don't care. We don't paint. I mean, I don't know anybody, maybe you do. I don't know anybody worth their salt that paints for others. You paint for yourself, right? You
Yeah.
paint what you love. And I think when you do that, and if you're okay at what you do, it somehow finds a way to be seen, and
Mm-hmm.
people seem to gravitate, or they respond to it somehow. And I think that's the thing. There was never any suggestion or uh, push for me to do this. It was just something that was in me that I wanted to do, to sort of learn this, or sort of pick up this sort of art that's not lost, but sort of it's been sort of neglected for a long time, right?
Yeah.
It's been sort of a neglected art, neglected this genre of sort of Dutch flower painting. Um, it hasn't been done a lot really over the last at least 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
Since sort of like the middle, or maybe a little bit later part of the 19th century, it was sort of petering out around then. You had American flower painter Severin Rosen was probably the most notable example of somebody who, very late in that line of succession, was still practicing Dutch flower painting. This is probably 18. I mean, I don't know his dates offhand, but I'm guessing 1860s or 1870s for Severin Rosen. So, this is 200 years after the Dutch Golden Age, and it was still continuing, and then it kind of disappeared, mostly. Um, so anyway, when somebody says you're this isn't modern or contemporary, or it's irrelevant, I mean, I don't. I mean, I could care less what any of those people say. They're never going to buy my paintings. They're never going to put a nickel in my pocket. Why would I ever listen to anything they have to say? Like, I don't, that's fine. They don't like it. No, all
Right.
good.
Yeah, that's the attitude you should have, I think.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta.
fine.
And if you were relevant, there would be somebody that says you're not old fashioned enough. I mean,
You
I'm going to
know,
put relevant in quotes. What does that even mean? And the funny thing is, like, did flowers go out of style? I'm pretty sure my wife grows them every spring.
they'll never.
Like,
That's the thing. They'll never
like
go
they
out of
never
style.
go out of style. Like, how are
Flowers will
flowers
never go out of
old
style. That's the
fashioned?
beauty of it. It's the
Yeah.
simplest thing in nature. Not the simplest, but it's like one of the most beautiful, fundamental things in nature. Everybody loves flowers, and you could look at uh, Egyptian frescoes and Roman wall paintings, and Greek mosaics, and you'll see flowers. Um, it's something that's people have always found beautiful. going back to antiquity. And I think in 2,000 years, if we're still around, um, people still enjoy flowers. So
Do you feel like this, what you're doing now is, as far as your technique goes, is a lot different than what you were doing when we met back in the early 2000s? Your
oh
approach to
boy.
it, or is the
Yeah,
subject just
well,
different?
yeah, well, God, early 2000s, it's so long ago. Um, yeah, I think I was painting maybe, it just feels like another lifetime ago. I mean,
Yeah,
man,
that was a long time ago.
so that's like when I'm fresh out of art school. I'm painting some still life. I was definitely more painterly back then. I think I had, if you look at that, like that
Really?
painting you have, yeah, the
It's
painting
still
you
pretty
bought,
tight.
yeah, it feels painterly to me, the way
Well, I've got to get one of these flower paintings to hang next to it. It's going to happen, and then I'll be able to tell you if I agree with you or not. But it's
yeah.
like,
It's I was painting, it was like a rough linen, and it sort of was more painterly with my brushes and my paint. Really, it was just like it's not that it was like totally different, but I just feel it was like it was just an early version of me. I mean, everybody goes through
right?
an
Yeah.
early version. I mean, Sargent, there was an early version of Sargent and Bouguereau, and everybody kind of goes through these. Even the paintings you're going to see today, there was, or later with sort of the Dutch masters are going to show. There's early versions of them, and so you sort of um, grow into the painter. Hopefully, you grow into the painter you're going to end up becoming, the best version of yourself. And you'll see in these examples we show in a little bit, where they start off, and like sort of where they end up, and it's it's a lot of growth there, and
Hmm.
that happens, I think, with every really painter. I mean, I guess there's some painters that like bust out of the gate like a rocket, right? And they just right to the top, and they're great at 20 years old or 18 or whatever. I mean, there are those people too, but I feel like everybody goes through that sort of growth. It just,
Well, I don't think it's about greatness. I mean, I would argue that you were great when I still think that painting is phenomenal. And how old were you in 2004?
uh, well, good question. Say I was born in 76, so I would have been 28, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah, you're only 2 years younger than me. I thought you were more than that.
No, I'm
Um,
49, man.
yeah, man, you were already master. It's not about
Oh,
well,
well,
you are. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you are getting better, I guess. But
I'm sure we could debate that quite a
yeah,
bit.
you are. I mean, obviously, you're getting better. But man, that painting is still phenomenal that I own of yours. And
Well, I appreciate it.
but yeah, but it's the style that's so. It's what you're choosing to paint now and how you're painting it that's so different.
Yeah.
I think that's more of a marker of your progress than just simply growth. Is more of like just the pivot than the growth.
Yeah, and it's a different. It's getting away from like this. What you're seeing is this is a different process than setting up a bouquet or setting up anything and just painting it.
Yeah.
The important thing to note is that this bouquet that you see, it never existed. It's
No, it
just
couldn't.
it's just been collaged. That's the easiest way to explain it. The best analogy I could think of it. This painting's been collaged together from individual flowers and painted so it looks like it. Hopefully, and
It
if I do a
does.
good job, that it was all there together, and so it's a sort of like it's a fantasy bouquet in a sense, right? It's a
Huh.
fantastic idealization of what a bouquet could be.
Okay, so when you were doing these,
Yeah.
this was almost like, whether you meant it or not, this, from what you're saying, this was almost like training, because really, if I oversimplify it, I mean, obviously it's much more complex in practice, but in concept, it's quite simple. If you can do this 20 times in the same painting and make them look like they're sitting in the same space, then you're somewhat successful. Again, I'm oversimplifying it, but because here you're looking at one flower
Yeah.
and you did observe it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's painted, right. Painted from life.
And
Right.
then you got to add another flower on top of that or behind that or to the side of that. And you just put it together one piece at a time until you have what looks like a bouquet.
Well, well, sort of. This particular one you're looking at, that's um, that's that was made specifically as a study that can be reused. So if you go back to one of my larger flower pieces, you'll
You
notice,
paint from the paintings?
yes,
No way.
yeah, yeah, sure.
Did this not come up in the last podcast?
No, no, not that one. Go back.
Okay.
Go up to the top. Keep going, keep going. Go all the way up if you can.
Okay, my bad. Let's see.
Okay, now just go down a few rows. Keep going. Keep going. Right there, right there, right there. You got it.
My fingers on it?
Yeah, yeah. So that's
Wait, is it
the
this?
that's the last full finished flower piece I did recently. Okay, so if you look at the tulip, look at the tulips. The
Is that a
poppy at the
tulip?
top.
I don't know flowers. Is that a
Yeah,
tulip? Okay.
yeah, that's a tulip. The poppy at the top, and
Okay.
the tulip on the left with the red and white tulip.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are basically come from what you were just looking at earlier, that yellow tulip, that that study that I did of the yellow tulip. That's where
What?
they come from.
But what if the lighting is different?
Well, the lighting's comes from the upper left. It's all from the same direction.
You're always painting from the upper left because you have one window,
I
and your
have
easel's always in the same spot.
always in the same spot. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So the studies I paint, the single flowers on the neutral brown, is it's the same lighting conditions that I paint these, and that so it always. And then the other thing is you can adjust the color from, like, in the study. Like if you look at the top, if you zoom in on the poppy up top.
Can you zoom in?
I don't know if you can zoom
I don't
in,
think you
but
can on Instagram.
yeah. So but if you do like your screen enlargement, but that was originally like a sort of an orange poppy. Well, I decided to make it a red poppy, right? And
Yeah.
you can kind of get away with stuff like that. So, but those studies allow me to add flowers into um,
Hmm.
into paintings that I normally would not have that access to that flower at a in the summer, for instance.
How many of these studies you have laying around?
Oh, well, they're all sold, but I have a JPEG, like a digital archive of all of them.
And they photograph well enough that you can depend on the colors and values and.
Yeah, yes, I can get very close to the colors, even if the color's not 100%. I can get the color probably.
You can fake it. Yeah.
I mean, I can get it probably 98 or 99%. I can get pretty close.
Yeah.
And even if I could change it if I want to. If I want to make it less bright, I can do that. But the point is, I have this digital archive that anytime I need a particular flower, if I'm in a pinch, I need a poppy, I need a tulip. I have one anytime.
No joke.
Yeah. So that's part of doing flower pieces, is building. I have probably over 100 studies in my archive, at least, maybe more at this point.
So show me two paintings where you have the same flower. Wait, right here. I'm looking. No. That's the same painting.
Let's see. Let's see. Go see, that one has a purple and white tulip. Let me see. You'd have to go down. I don't know if I have one. I'm sure I do, where I've used the same flower a couple times. I know I've used the
Wait a minute. I think I found one. Oh no, maybe not. Okay.
No.
Oh no, that's not one.
No,
Okay.
it's usually the tulips and the poppies so that poppy I've reused a couple times, like that.
This one here?
But I put it in different positions. Yeah. So go up a little bit. You might be able to find, right. Here we go. Go right, left, go left. Keep going. Okay. Right there. Right there. Okay. Look at that poppy.
That one right there?
Yeah. I turned it.
Okay, but then the lighting's in a different position if you turn it, but it doesn't really matter that much.
Well, if you turn it, see, here's the deal. Look, the light's coming from this direction, right?
Yeah.
So it's hitting it here. It's still pretty bright. So
Okay.
it's plausible. That's the thing.
It's like oh, David Dibble said, if it looks right, it is right.
Yeah. So one thing you're going to find out in Dutch flower painting is how unrealistic the lighting is, in
Huh.
many cases. So let's here and now zoom out. Go back to the grid.
Okay.
Okay. Now try going. Go go down. Go down a ways. I'll tell you when to stop. Let's see if I can find that particular flower again.
Dude, you got a lot of entries, man. Holy
Yeah,
moly.
I know, man. It's oh, go up. Stop. Go up. Okay. One more. One more. Okay, stop. Let me think. No, I actually I don't have that one again.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I know I do somewhere. There's somewhere in this archive. There's probably a painting or
I'm gonna
two
be this one. I'm
paintings.
gonna be doing tonight. It's like searching and see if I can
Searching,
find
you can
them.
find it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could find one. But
Huh.
it's I've definitely reused those studies. Some of them I've used more than others, but um,
Okay, so in a given painting, you might have some from studies, some from
and
real flowers.
most of them I'm gonna have more from real life, and then I'm gonna have maybe I'll have three, maybe four from studies. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So, all right. I mean, maybe this is a good place time to start looking at the artists you brought with you. But again, just, well, not again. So what? Here's a question. What came up today in my class? I was teaching, as I mentioned before the podcast,
yeah.
all day today on my online school, and one of the students said, "How did she put it?" She said she was a little concerned that maybe she's too influenced by other artists, so she's not even looking at other artists. She's like, I feel like I shouldn't look at other artists because I'm afraid I'll copy them.
Yeah.
And I said to her, well, you should not worry about that. You need to be looking at everybody
Yeah.
and just paint, paint, paint. And in a year or two, or maybe it's 5 years, you'll eventually subconsciously sort of weed out all the things that aren't natural to you until you have this modge podge of influence and personal taste and aesthetic that goes into whatever quote unquote you are.
Yeah.
That was my advice to her. And so my question to you is, when you're searching for, I'll call them idols. I don't know if you'd use that stronger word, but when you're searching for your idols, like these Dutch Impressionists, what is it you're looking for? Because clearly you don't want to be them, right? You're still you, and I can see that. But what is it that you're looking for when you're looking at these artists from the past that can inform your own work?
Um, the the quality, the precision, um, the the level of attention um, that they can give to something, a flower, a piece of fruit, whatever. Um, that quality, like we're
So you're not
um,
interested in some style thing, some, I hesitate to say kitsch because Nerdrum would say that's a good thing, but we'll say kitsch in a negative way. You're not looking for some, well, what's another word? Some sort of little style point that's going to help you further your career, like the new hip thing in painting.
no, I don't I don't want really that, I've talked about this a little bit. I don't want to have a style. I don't want anybody, I don't want anybody to look at my work and say, oh, his brushwork looks like so and so, or, he looks like he comes from so and so school. Um, ideally, I would like any semblance of style to sort of disappear, blend away, and
Interesting.
just be the work. I've talked about that a little bit, but so certain um, uh, certain artists he might employ a certain brushwork, like um, let's say Sargent, or say he'd be sort of an easy one to
Yeah,
pick
because
out.
everyone idolizes
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So you don't want to paint like sort of brushy, and there's more current people like Richard Schmidt, who has he's been very influential, and there's a number of painters who um, um, they have a certain particular style that has they have a big following, and um, I think because of that, it sort of makes me want to go in the other direction, not have really any style. I just want to see, like, I just want to paint a flower without a style, just the flower. And you forget the brushwork, you forget the hand of the artist, really. I sort of have my phases where like I was sort of into guys like Claudio Bravo, and I was looking into like I was doing like Joseph Decker, loved his work for a while, and I still do. But like so there was, but we sort of you all go through these phases of sort of emulating people you like. Um, um, but I don't know. Right now, I really there's some really great contemporary painters out there, and I don't. It's like I almost don't look at any of them anymore. Like I don't want to look at them because as great as they are, they're just like so not relevant to what I do anymore. And I don't want it to pollute anything in my. I know it
Oh
sounds
man, yeah, I
goofy.
know what you mean.
I don't really want because we have this sort of like um, sort of oversaturation of images today. And I like when I like looking at artists like I'll give you an example. Like, do you know the painter Mia Bergeron?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. I don't know how to describe her work. She's a realist, but sort of she incorporates very sort of interesting elements into her work. Um, sort of
How do you
God, I
spell
don't
her
know how to
name?
describe it. Sort of a little bit. It's like it's sort of like realism, but she has these sort of strange, sort of surrealist.
How do you spell her
Uh,
name? How do you spell Mia?
Bergeron, Bergeron,
Bergeron.
Mia Bergeron. Yeah. Anyway, what I was saying about her work, it's like it's so different from mine, and it's that's not
I
her.
don't think that's her.
No, no, no. The point, I guess, I'm just using her as any example, but really,
Right.
it's like I look at work like hers because I love it and it's so different from mine. Or there's another guy, landscape painter who I love. His name is what the hell's his name? Um,
Is he
oh,
Russian?
no, well,
There's
there
so
are some
many good
Russians.
Russian
Yeah,
landscape painters.
Vladimir Kirilov. I love his work.
Oh
Big
yeah.
landscape painter. But there's a guy in Maine, and I'm blanking on his name. But I would love to buy a painting of his just because it's like so completely different. He paints in acrylic, and he paints these, like you'll see like woods and like Christmas lights like on a house through the woods. It's like, but it's so, it's painterly, but really just so beautiful. And like
Huh.
that's the kind of contemporary work I like looking at because it's completely different from mine. It like has no relation whatsoever, but it's really well done. It's just very moving. I find like the same, like I was using Mia as an example. Same thing, like very different from mine, but that's the kind of contemporary work. When I do look at contemporary artists, like I love that kind of work. That like another guy from Arcadia, like Aaron Weisenfeld. I love his work.
Mm-hmm.
I just get lost in his work. It's again so different from mine, but I feel like I could just, I could look at one of his paintings and think of like 100 different stories about what's happening. And anyway, so that's the
Hmm.
kind of work I look at. But in terms of like, I'm not. I don't really look at like. I'm not looking at people anymore like I did when I was younger to try and
As an
uh,
influence.
yeah, exactly. I'm sort of just looking at people that are long gone now,
Yeah.
just for sort of I guess my influence at this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It also answers a question I've had for a long time, and that is why in the world did you trade with me with that pumpkin painting? I'm like, why does he like my work? I was like, it's nothing like his. Well, you just answered it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just I don't know. I mean, I have my own work. I have some of my prints. Like I don't have my original paintings because they're all in collections. But I have prints of my work, and so I can live with some of it. But I see it so much. It's nice to see something else sometimes.
Yeah, it's like having your house full of mirrors. You
Right.
how much
Yeah.
do you want to see
Yeah.
your own
That's a good way to
face?
put it. House full of mirrors. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. All right, well, let's pull up some of this, some of the art you brought today.
Yeah. So I really, I gave you mostly images of Rachel Ruysch and Jan van Huysum. And I guess the proper way, if I was maybe a Dutchman or some, I'd say something like Raquel Rausch, okay, and then Jan van Huysum, which I'm not going to say because I don't want to sound ridiculous. No, I'm just going to call her Rachel. I'm going to call her Rachel. I'm going to call her Jan, and everybody will know who I'm talking about. Um, do you have the list?
I do.
Their
Well, I just
Willem?
lost it. Hold on. All right. So we'll go with number one on that. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. So he also
Jeez,
there should be
dude.
some flower paintings by him. That's also what I want if you can pull those up too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I can. I can't see the thumbnails; they're so small. I can't make
Yeah,
them
it's
out.
tricky. This is going to be a little tricky, but hopefully everyone can bear with us here. What about this here?
That's a fruit and yeah, we can do
Yeah, it's
that
fruit
one.
one.
That's fine.
Yeah, so
Okay.
this is one of the artists that you're most inspired by.
Well, not yes, I love his work, but so that's not really why I brought this up. So the two main painters I wanted to talk about were Rachel Rausch and Jan van Huysum.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was the teacher of Rachel Rausch. Okay, so Rachel Rausch, she she studies with this guy Willem van Elst. Willem van Elst is really one of the, I mean, I think one of the best Dutch still life painters, um, really in the history of the of
What is it about him? What is it
oh
that makes him? I mean, I can tell he's good. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
what is it that's a strong statement that he's one of the best.
Yeah, well, so that's obviously subjective. There are
Yeah, but I'm asking
lots of
your
good
opinion,
ones.
right?
Yeah, I think he has a well, certainly. So he has. If you look through some of the catalog of his work, um, he has sort of a level of his drawing, his colors, his sense of composition. It's really just how he puts everything together, and that's really so. There are lots of good technicians who can draw and
Mm-hmm.
color well, but what? How do they compose their paintings? And Willem van Elst really, I think he was just exceptional in all areas of drawing, color, composition. He kind of just pulls it all together.
Hmm.
And he does. If there's some paintings, there's a painting of him with a blue hunting bag. Um, yeah, that one. Um, so he's really adept at birds and sort of game still life.
Well, dang, and
And
that velvet is he nailed that texture.
oh yeah, yeah. It's and just the level of detail is just sort of off. The little stitching in the game bag and the leather strap. It's really just quite like ridiculous how 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 perfect he gets sort of everything. Um, and then he also, in addition to this, he paints flowers.
Hmm.
And there's a few in there that I put. Uh, so he's also a really outstanding flower painter. And yeah, there you go. There's one of them. So his flower paintings are um, they're very good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, I think they stand out from a lot of other flower painters in terms of his compositions. He really gets these really nice sort of diagonal flows and sort of axes moving through his Dutch flower paintings. And he uh, he ends up teaching. The next person we're going to see is Rachel Rausch, and he takes her on as a teenager. Rachel goes to study with him when she's a teenager, and she learns not just still life painting, but she learns um, um, how to paint flowers masterfully. And she start and there's that's another Willem van Elst. And if look at the sort of diagonals cut, from
Yeah, there's a
now
real strong diagonal all the way
real
across.
strong diagonals, lots of flowers sort of spilling out of the vase. You have lots of different movements and direction in here. Just gorgeous detail, and I mean his modeling was just off the charts. And
So his color is not as intense as yours. Is that because it's old?
yeah, so they, keep in mind they had these are old paintings, and they had access to a lot fewer pigments.
Mm.
So, uh, and some of the, they had good pigments back then, but much less than what we have. They didn't have cadmiums.
Hmm.
They were painting with a smaller toolkit, so to speak. Um, so sometimes you'll see in some of these Dutch flower paintings, especially Willem van Elst, you'll see actually blue leaves, where what they did is they painted it in blue, they painted the leaves in blue, and then they glazed it with yellow, and they created
Why?
sort of an optical green. Well, because they didn't really have a good strong green back then,
Oh,
a reliable green that they liked. So if you're painting it with blue and white, and then glaze it with yellow. I mean, it seems kind of weird today, but back then it was not totally uncommon. You'll see paintings by Van Elst. You'll see some by Van Husum that have the blue leaf syndrome,
hmm.
unfortunately.
Well, why didn't they just mix it directly instead of glazing it? Do you have any idea why? I mean, if you got yellow and you got blue,
Yeah, that's a good that's a good question. Maybe the mix of the two colors, maybe they felt
hmm,
uh, wasn't good enough. I don't know. That's a really interesting question. I've wondered that myself.
hmm.
It seems a little strange. Um,
I mean, glazes do result in higher chroma. So I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Oftentimes, they bring higher chroma.
yeah, but they also, Van Hysum also, like for instance, he also painted lots of greens with a mixed green too. So,
Oh,
I wonder why he used
huh.
some
Yeah.
areas and not others. Yeah, it's a little, I'm not 100% sure. It seems like a kind of a strange thing, but it's definitely something that was done.
Hmm.
And, you know, I guess he had a good reason.
Yeah. Okay. So where do you want to go from here?
Go to you'll see pieces listed under Rachel Rausch.
Okay.
It might be like
RR.
RR1. Yeah, anything RR1, RR2, something like that. You want to start. Yeah. So this is an early Rachel
God, this is
Rausch. Now
beautiful,
this is
dude.
this is which one is this? RR1?
This is just Rachel Rausch. And
Okay.
then next one is RR2.
Got it. So this is okay. So this is an early flower piece. This is while she is, or shortly after she, maybe she's still with Van Alst, or maybe shortly afterwards. But this is very much. You look at the composition, very much influenced by his sort of compositional sense. The sort of the diagonals and
Mm-hmm.
the flowers in sort of the glass vase, and that's very sort of Van Elst influence. And this painting is about 1682, so that would put it in terms of her age, 1682. Then she's like 18 ish. She's like
No
18.
freaking way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So she's
Dude, holy crap.
I've been doing Jeff's online mentorship program for about a year now, and it is awesome. Everything is online, super streamlined. If you can be there, I mean, you have the ability to talk to him once a week, and he can review your work and help you. If you can't be there, it's pre-recorded. You can go back and even re-watch things if you missed something during class or couldn't be there. So the online portion of it is almost better than real life because you can always go back to it, which is awesome. The demos are recorded. It's just like all available whenever you need it. And I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4, and my time is limited, and it's also very interrupted. And so to be able to go back has been clutch for me. And you get to work with Jeff HEIN, who's awesome. He's tough. The assignments are simple, but difficult, and they're difficult to make us all better. And he's able to give us these assignments, coach us through it, help us stay excited to progress. And so it's just been a great experience. I am so grateful that he has been willing to take time away from his own art to offer all of us to have it. So if you're thinking about doing it, it's amazing.
To learn more about how you could have me as a personal mentor, check out the link to HEINatelier.com in the show notes or video description.
So this is another early flower piece. So so this is a forest floor piece, and this is sort of like what I'd call a half copy. So she's copying um, a forest floor painting from another artist named Jan Davids de Heem. He was also a very famous Dutch flower painter, Dutch still life painter really, but also flower painter. But de Heem does a sort of a larger, different version of this painting earlier. She has taken sort of like the right half of it and sort of copied the flowers, the tree trunk, the rock, and everything, and then she kind of made up her own background. So, and then she's doing this. I mean, she's probably around 20 or 21 when she's doing this.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah.
That is nuts. So she copying all the insects and the lizard and the mushroom and everything?
Yeah,
is that part of the landscape?
I don't know if she does everything. She, I'm sure she edits some things out, but she's learning really the language of still life and flower painting. She's sort of training with this artist Ben Elst, and really she's learning the rudiments really.
So what do you take from paintings like this? I mean, maybe you've already answered that earlier. Technique, how precise they are. Is that the stuff you're looking at?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, this is like an early Rachel, right? I mean, it's sort of a copy in a sense.
Right.
So I it's not something that I'm like super interested in. Forest floor is a sort of genre of flower painting that I'm not quite as interested in, but it is interesting nonetheless.
Right.
But to see a 20 or 21-year-old,
that's unbelievable.
Basically,
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. So we can just move. Yeah, that's another early. She's probably about 18 or 19 when she's doing this. Still probably under or just maybe ending under the tutelage of Van Elst. Okay.
Yeah. So if she's in the 17th century, is she making a living doing this? Do you know?
Well, she eventually does. She eventually does quite well. So she starts out. She apprentices to Willem Van Elst. Her father is a very well-known. He's a physician, I guess, and a botanist. And her father owns a museum. Okay. And so he has access to his taxidermy. He has all kinds of bugs and creatures.
Oh man, that's a gold mine.
And supposedly he has had a secret method to preserving flowers that would preserve them so that they looked like they were fresh. And so she grows up with sort of all these things of the natural world around her that she can study. And so she's kind of like she has a I guess you could say she has a bit of a leg up in that sense, right? She has all these examples of nature around her and her father's museum, and can get all kinds of flowers, which it's ended up being I guess a bit of an advantage in that sense, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Are there any portraits of her?
There are, yes, not by her, but there are portraits of her from other people. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, I didn't include any in here, but there are. You could probably Google one.
That's another thing I'm going to be doing tonight.
Yeah.
It's so fascinating to imagine someone, a young woman, at 18 to 21
Yeah.
in a candle, a house that's, I mean, I'm sure she wasn't always painting in a candlelit room, but just in a room
Yeah.
with no technology that we're accustomed to today,
Yeah.
just, noodling away at a painting like this
Yeah.
400 years ago.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's quite a thing. I know it's amazing. And they're still kicking our butt today. And, flower painting like this really just, um, it really hadn't been done in a long time. So I'm just, um, that was part of the motivation to really sort of look back at these painters and see if I could do, continue, pick up that line where it kind of broke off.
When did it break off? Do you know approximately?
Well, really kind of, like I said, the 19th century, sort of the Dutch, the sort of the end of, the last days of Dutch flower painting. You don't really see, like, I was talking about Severin Rosen. That's a name you can Google if you want. He does sort of like a version of Dutch flower painting. His work, it's kind of like, it's not anywhere in the sort of level of what we're going to see tonight. It's kind of a lesser version of it, a degraded version of Dutch flower painting. If you're familiar with like the Peels, do you ever see the Peels work, like Rembrandt Peale?
Yeah, absolutely.
Raphael?
Yeah.
Like it's that early American style. It's a little bit like stiff and awkward. It doesn't
It's
have
like it's like a marriage between naturalism and folk art.
Yeah, I
It's
mean
like,
that's the way to put it. It's a little bit. It's just not it doesn't feel as naturalistic as what they were doing a couple hundred years prior.
yeah. What's his name again?
Severin Rosen.
Severin Rosen.
Rosen. Yeah, he was an American. I think he born in Germany, but he was one of the sort of later proponents of Dutch still life painting. One of the last, really, that I could think of.
Oh yeah. It's like sort of candy sweet sort of stuff.
Yeah. It's not nearly. It's a long drop off in quality from the glory days.
Huh.
So so after Severin Rosen, I mean, I'm sure it hangs around a little bit here and there, but you're not going to find. I guess no one notable that I can think of offhand. Now go up to RR4 if you can. So this is where she kind of starts going off on her, starts doing. So she does this painting. She's she's in her early 20s. This is a forest floor still life.
What an unusual painting.
Isn't it? I know it's a little unusual. This is sort of a subgenre of Dutch flower painting is forest floor painting, and that forest floor was a sort of originated by this guy named Otto Marcius van Schryck, who is a Dutch painter. He sort of comes up with this idea of not putting flowers in a vase, but having it in sort of a forested, natural setting, and that becomes a bit of a popular thing. Other painters emulate that for a bit. But so here's her take on it, and she actually puts a little bird. You can see at the top, maybe one of her dad's specimens from his museum, probably. Anyway, but this is, again, this is an early work. She's in her probably early 20s or something. So it's pretty impressive, and it's I don't have the size of it, but it's good size painting.
Speaking of signatures, look at that. That's quite neat.
She has really good script. Yeah.
Yes, she does. Holy
and
cow.
look at the bottom too, around her signature. See all that stippled texture?
Yeah.
That's like moss or like a sponge. Okay, where she's
doing it like so she's like toll painting.
Yeah, like literally dipping moss in paint and going.
Really?
Yeah.
It's it's interesting to see when artists. I mean, I'm not being critical. I think this is amazing, especially for her age. But when artists sort of cross disciplines, because she's so masterful here, especially for her age, but doesn't know a lot about linear perspective yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or if
which
I don't
is,
know if she ever did, but
yeah, I don't think most flower painters were ever masterful at perspective, because
yeah, you wouldn't need it.
you wouldn't really need it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
even the best, like Van Hysum, some of his, not so much his perspective, but his ovals. You're going to see later, some of his ovals are really just way off. So
Really?
yeah, it's a really weird thing. Um, so he mastered like everything else about flower painting, but not so much ovals.
Huh.
Let's just keep going a little bit. You can just see, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on each one, but this is her now. She's she's a little bit older now. She's probably uh, into her 20s, mid or later 20s now. This is dated. I think I have the dates here, 1698. So that would put her at, well, let's see, my math isn't so great, but that would put her at like 64.
When was she born?
64. She's born in 1664. So then
Oh,
put her
she's 34.
34. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now she's sort of into her career, and she has the interesting thing with Rachel is, she, back then, you probably live 40 years or 50 years. It's
Yeah.
like long, right?
Yeah.
I think she lives to be like 84 or 86.
Oh man.
86.
That's
I believe. So
great.
she has basically like 2 lives, right? Um, so she creates a lot of work, and she has work from her teens up into her like 80s, which is amazing. Like
Did she paint right up until she died?
close.
No
She
kidding.
some of the last painting you'll see in her folder is pretty late in her life. So yeah, let's skip ahead. Let's keep going to yeah.
Now
Here's
we're
another.
starting to look like the kind of stuff that you're doing.
Yeah, so this is a little bit right, a little bit later.
Yeah.
This is RR6, right? If I'm not mistaken. So this is like, now she's she's probably getting close to 40 here. You notice dark background on the left.
This is RR11.
Oh, 11. Oh, this is way later then. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
This
know how
is,
it got out of order here. Let's go to RR6. Hold on.
yeah.
This one. Nope.
No, that's
No,
late.
that's not it.
That's a very late work of hers.
Where is RR6? For crying out loud. That's it.
There we go.
Okay, so she's about
right.
34 here.
So she's like, yeah, I'm going to say like around late 30s or 40. And so you can see there's a lot going on here. Big sort of bouquet, sort of triangle shape, lots of flowers. She's really sort of in command of, her genre, right? She can,
Yeah.
she can, and you gotta remember, this is just really one big collage. So she's like weaving.
God, this one's gorgeous.
I mean, yeah, and all these, just weaving all these like flowers in with each other, and then adding in the little guys in between, the little stems and the twigs and the leaves and the foliage and all these things. So she really picks up flower painting.
Isn't it weird to think, I'm sorry, this is ridiculous thought maybe, but how many tulips have lived and died from the time she painted a tulip to the time you painted a tulip?
Oh God, billions.
Because I'm looking at these tulips and they're the same thing I see in your paintings, but this was so long ago.
Yeah, so the tulips you see there. So all these flowers you can pretty much get today, except for the tulips. Now the tulips that you see in her paintings, most of those are all long gone. Okay.
Oh, is this not a tulip here?
Yeah, it's a tulip.
Oh, I thought I did see something like that in your painting.
Yeah, well, something like it, not
the same one. Okay.
No. Back then there were lots of striped tulips. They called them broken tulips, but back then there was lots of them. And many of them looked alike. Today it's a long convoluted story, but basically after the Dutch Golden Age and after tulip mania and as the centuries wore on, all the old collections of tulips from the Netherlands and other places, they were sort of bought up by bigger commercial buyers in the 19th century. And a lot of these broken tulips, the ones that were real prized
Yeah.
with stripes, um, they have a virus, which that's what makes them striped. Okay,
Mm.
and that was not considered a desirable trait for commercial growers because it can infect other
Oh,
tulip bulbs and sort of weaken them. Right. So that was so really, what these were once very popular and very expensive.
mm-hmm.
Okay. And centuries later, they became undesirable and they were, all gotten rid of. So you can still get them to now, you can still get them from specialty growers, but they're very rare. And, you're not going to find them ever at a flower shop. You have to actually buy the bulb and grow it yourself.
Because they're concerned about the virus spreading in the flower shop.
Yeah, well, no, because the people that grow the tulips, they don't want their fields to get infected with the tulip breaking virus.
Oh, right.
So they want pristine, red tulips, right? They don't
Right.
want striped tulips. I guess they would, not that's not considered desirable for a commercial grower. But
Huh.
for someone like a connoisseur of tulips, that's what I look for. I look for a broken tulip like that.
Are
That's
you
what I
able to
want.
find that stuff in Pennsylvania where you live? In Philly? You're in
Well,
Philly, right?
yeah. So you can get lucky. So if you go to like a tulip, like a flower farm in the
Yeah.
spring, and you pick tulips, you can walk through the fields and you scan through like tens, I don't know how many thousands of tulips. You'll find every once in a while you'll find a broken tulip like that.
Oh, it's just a fluke.
It's just a fluke. Yeah.
No kidding.
Generally, I have to get the bulbs from Holland. That's where they come from.
And you do that?
Yes.
That's hardcore, man.
Yeah.
So, okay, first of all, apparently she's 40 when she did this. It's
Yeah.
1704. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I don't know. I'm weird about this, but I mean, I live in just a moderately old house to some of the European listeners that are listening, but my house is like 135 years old or something.
Yeah.
And it's just always so interesting to imagine, someone standing in the same bathroom that I brush my teeth in the morning and bathing or like washing their face over a bowl with a pitcher of water in the same
Yeah.
house,
Yeah.
And I'm just imagining her painting this at 40 years old in the 1704. It's just wild. And for some reason, for some reason I don't do this with most paintings, but because I see your paintings and then I see her paintings and I see the relationship, there's that kinship, and it just, I don't know, it just makes you feel more connected to the past.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's really, it's hard to think of I mean, when you think of Rachel, she's really at the very top of the game. Okay. And which is rare for a female, especially at that point. Um, there are a few female Dutch flower painters that were really good. But she was really, really one of the greats. And, pretty much any student I talk to, I think they would name her either the best or second best. I mean, she was that good.
Yeah, I could see that, especially looking at this particular one. All right, so number 7, I think, is this.
Yeah. So that's at the National Gallery.
In London?
Yeah, I've seen that twice in person. Great painting. It's big too. It's 35 by 27.
I was just there. I don't remember if I saw this or not.
Yeah,
Remember I
it's
sent
really-
you those pictures? Like, dude, I'm sitting in front of Dutch paintings.
I offhand, I don't remember that.
You don't
but-
remember that? Yeah, I texted you. I was like,
No.
check it out. I'm here at Dutch Paintings.
Oh man,
This was in
No, I
June.
don't-
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. You texted me
No.
back and you're like, you got to go see these ones. You don't remember?
I don't.
It's because you
man.
have so many friends, man. You just got people texting you all the time.
No, you know what it is? It's just, I'm gonna blame it on my kids, man. There's too much.
You got
I
dad
can't focus
brain.
on anything.
Total
There's
dad
too
brain.
much
Yeah,
going
you
on.
responded and you're like, you got to go see these certain ones. And I did. I did. There was this room. I don't remember which museum it was in. There was this room. It was small. It couldn't have
Yeah.
been more than 200 square feet.
Okay,
And it was all Dutch still lifes.
that's probably this. I mean,
It probably was
it's
this one.
It's a small room. When I was there, it was in a pretty small. Both times I was there, it was in a small room. two different rooms. They moved it from one year to the next, but they're both small rooms. And this is probably the biggest painting in there. It's 35 by 27. And, so this is,
I think I did see this there. I remember that locust thing.
yeah. And,
Now I think about it.
so she's what, 45 or 50 when she's doing this. And
Yeah.
maybe somewhere that, in that range.
Do we have a date?
But so she's really, at the top of her game here. And, when you see this thing, that tulip in real life, when you see that tulip in person at the top, you look at it and you just think like, man, how could anybody paint a better tulip than that? Like, it's just so well done. It's pretty remarkable.
I remember standing in that room and thinking I wanted to become a flower painter.
It's humbling. I'll tell you, man.
It is, and inspiring.
Tulip, and you just it hurts. It hurts in a way to look at it, but
yeah,
in a good way. But look at that like little S curve right there, the tulip down through the sunflower. Isn't that gorgeous?
That is so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting, the insects. I remember my wife commenting when we were in that room about all the insects. She's like, I can't tell if I love them or I'm grossed out by them. Do you know how people responded to that stuff in that century?
Yeah, well, they were very, very interested in nature and insects. There was a lot of people were studying.
Oops, what'd I do?
That's like her last painting.
Uh-oh.
Her very last.
Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Yeah, nature, bugs and critters were very. There was a lot of interest in studying them.
Yeah, that's gorgeous, man. All right, so number 9 is where's number 9? Is right there.
Right there. Yeah, so that was the biggest painting I think she ever did.
That's freaking busy.
It was big, yeah. So this was in her Boston show. So she had a big show, by the way. Some of you who listening might know this. She just had a big exhibition in Boston.
Yeah.
At the MFA, and I went with a couple of friends of mine, and we kind of geeked out for about 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever it was. And this painting was in there, and it's massive. It's 38 by 52, and it's just loaded from top to bottom with every fruit, flower, corn, lizards. I mean, it just goes on.
The bugs turn it into a narrative.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, look at this little guy going for the spider.
Yeah, he's going for it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so you create this whole world, right? This whole world with like action going on. There's things happening. There's little caterpillars and snakes and snails. I mean, it's just.
Is it just me or the rest of you guys also get weirdly excited when you order new paint? Because I don't know about you, but when I get paint in the mail, it feels like Santa just dropped my Christmas presents off at my doorstep. With Vasari paint, my paint of choice and the podcast sponsor, it's even more exciting. And let me show you why. Because when Vasari shows up, it comes in this incredible box where each tube lays in this little compartment perfectly formed around the tube in this nice soft foam. And it's surrounded by velvet, red velvet. Now you got to ask yourself, if a paint comes so carefully protected and surrounded by red velvet, you got to wonder if this paint is worthy of royalty. It is. Vasari is. So if you haven't tried Vasari, you're seriously missing out. And the thing about Vasari, it's not only the best paint out there, it's also made by an incredible company that's been around for 30 years and knows its customer by name. Do yourself a favor, go to VasariColors.com and order yourself some for your next painting.
Do you put bugs in yours? I don't think I've ever noticed. You do?
Yeah. I don't have nearly the number that she has. I mean, she had a museum full, I guess, of bugs that she could get from her dad. I have mostly like I have butterflies, I have some bees. I think I have a fly or two.
Man, if you ever come to Utah, I'm sure there's something like this in Philly, but in Utah we have this store called Nature where they have all these preserved bugs, and it's like, there's so many, it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they're cool. I mean, I collect a little bit of it. I don't have the I don't have the museum level of bugs though.
Right. God, this is amazing. You
Oh,
could
it's
look at this
just
for
amazing.
days.
Oh, you get lost in it. And again, it's like we're at this exhibit and there's, dozens and dozens and dozens of paintings and they're all one's better than the next. And, by the time you get to this, your brain's already fried. So it's like almost too much because everything in the show is so good.
Yeah,
But, so this is, she's known for her flowers, but she also did fruit pieces as well, like this. So,
that's unbelievable.
yeah.
Hmm. All right, number 10.
So this is like a late work of hers. Okay, so this is now I remember seeing this at the show, and we kind of went up to this. It's a very small piece, and wait, is that 10?
E- oh, wait, that's not 10. Are we supposed to be doing 10?
Yeah, you could skip it. I don't know. You can carry. We can stay on this one. This is
Well,
so. This is probably
here's 10.
13, right?
Here's
Yeah,
10.
go. That's fine. Go back to where you were. That's fine.
Okay, now I don't know where I was.
Go left. It
There's
should be
the nest. Where is that nest? They're
keep
so
going.
small. I got to
Right
figure
there.
out a better way.
Right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you
How
go.
did you see that? And I couldn't. That's crazy. All right.
All right, so this painting, so this is I think number 13, right? RR 13. This is like 1738, okay? So she's born in what did I say?
64.
1964.
So she's 74 now.
Is she 70? Okay, so she's 74. She's now this painting, we looked at this in person, we're there. It's like below life size, so it's kind of on the smaller side. Super tight, like ridiculous detail. Like look at the bird's nest. Zoom in on the bird's nest. It like I don't even know if it lets you, but you can't. Yeah, it's not a super high res photo, unfortunately. But like there's like little hair width
Amazing.
strokes of paint for the. It's just really like super. Just like she's at the top. She's 74, like you said, or whatever, 75. She's at the top of her game still at that age.
She's still steady as can be to be doing stuff like this.
Oh, dude. I mean, right. Exactly. I mean, this is why we were just like, I mean, I was kind of like mind blown. I was like, oh my God, like she hasn't lost a step. Now she's not doing big giant works anymore. She's older now. She's kind of slowing down, but man, when she wants to pull it out, she can still,
No, there's no reduction in quality at all.
none, no, and it's just a really amazing. We were all kind of in awe, like looking at this piece, knowing that she's like getting towards the end of her life, and she's still got it.
Wow, man,
Yeah.
I pray you and I have this at 74.
I know. That's what I'm praying. So that would give me at least another 25 years of
Yeah, same.
really, hopefully without losing my hand. So,
Yeah.
and then if you go up to, then go to the next one is number 14. I think that's the final painting that it's a tiny little thing.
This one right here.
Yeah, Rose. I think that's the final.
This is her final.
That's known. Yeah, as far as I know, that's 1741. So that would have been, so she dies in, let's see, what do I have here? 1750. So this would be 9 years before she dies. So
79. Or no, wait,
yeah,
is that right? Something close to that.
something like that. So this is her last known painting. And again, she's still no slouch at this point. She still can paint. And she has an amazing life. I keep saying this. You need to make a movie out of her life because she's first of all, she's a woman painter in the 17th century, which is pretty rare to begin with. She ends up being one of probably the two best flower painters in history. She has a career that spans teens until late 70s. Okay, she has 10 kids.
10 kids, and she did all
10
this?
kids. Yeah, 10 kids. But she also I think one of the reasons she was able to have a career too is because she was very successful and she made a ton of money. So
Yeah, but she couldn't pump these things out. She must have sold them for a fortune.
she did. She sold them for a fortune. Her paintings were
Really?
big money. Yeah, big money.
Wow.
She was a court painter to a German prince. So she was a court painter, so she had to deliver a painting a year to this German prince. Her husband was named Urian Poole. He was a portrait painter, and he was also a court painter. So between the two of them, they were probably doing quite well. And then on top of everything, she wins the lottery at 50, which is the equivalent of millions of dollars.
Wait. What do you mean? There's a lottery back then? Like we have today?
Yeah, like today. So she wins a lottery of a couple $1 million.
Couple million in her time?
No, in today's money.
In today's money, okay.
Yeah, so a couple, whatever it was back then.
Right.
50,000 Dutch guilders or whatever it'd be. It'd be multiple millions in today's money, and so and she's already probably rich to begin with, and on top of that, she wins the lottery. So she keeps painting, and this is at 50. So she paints for almost another 30 years, even after she hits the lottery. Just to show you, she was doing it for the love of.
I'm so glad she won the lottery at 50 instead of at 18.
Yeah.
Because she already proved that she didn't need to win the lottery.
She didn't need to win the lottery.
No, she already had it. She had 10 kids. She already had a career. She was already painting for a prince.
Yes. And of course, being that she was highly paid, she could have a career. She could have, maids, cooks, and, all the things that normally a housewife would do. She probably doesn't have to do any of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's what I mean. It'd be great story.
It really is a great story.
It's right. I mean, anybody listening that makes films, God, it's all right there. Just do it.
Seriously. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought that's all you've got with her, right?
Yeah, that's for Rachel. And so Rachel is, I thought, we could talk about so many Dutch, there's a whole line of painters we could talk about, but I thought, let's talk about the two best, in my opinion.
Okay.
Rachel, and then the next would be Jan van Husum. Okay.
All right.
So Jan van Husum, we can start with that one. That's fine.
Let me see. We can start with this one. Just the one you want to start with?
Yeah, we can start with that one too. That's fine. That's
your first
Jan van
one.
Husum. So
Okay.
Jan van Husum, Jan van Husum is born in, I think he's basically born in Amsterdam. Was it Amsterdam? Yeah, born and lived in Amsterdam, worked there. He's trained by his father. So
What
Jan
year?
He was born in 1682. Okay.
Okay.
So he overlaps a little bit with Rachel Ruysch. Or I should say a lot. He overlaps with her. He's born almost 20 years after she's born. So the careers do overlap.
He could literally be one of her kids. So he was literally 18 years after.
Exactly. So he's like the generation after her, but because she lived so long, they kind of die around the same time, which is kind of crazy. But so he's trained by his father. His father's name is Justus van Husum. And his father was he wasn't a great flower painter. But he wasn't terrible either, but he certainly wasn't great. But it just goes to show you don't have to have a great teacher to end up being great.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to study, I often talk about like someone like Velasquez, Velasquez, became this, otherworldly painter, and he studied with Pacheco, right? You ever see Pacheco's paintings? They're not that good.
No.
I mean, they're in museums because they're old, and probably his relationship to Velasquez. But in terms of his own work, it's not even in the same. It's not even close. I mean, it's so. It's
well,
crazy.
Most of the people we remember are better than their teachers.
Yeah, many. Yeah, but like Rachel, for instance, Rachel had a great teacher. I mean,
but she outpainted him though.
She outpainted him, but he was still in, he's
still good.
Yeah, he's still in the pantheon. Great Dutch
right.
flower painters. Some like Velasquez, man. I don't know. It's like, where does he even get that from? He just comes out like so far beyond his training. But so anyway, so Van Husum studies with his dad, Justus, and he starts out doing. what, if you look at this looks sort of typical for the time, sort of dark, right? The dark, moody, um, still life, right? The flower
Mm-hmm.
still life. Um, I think with Jan, his rendering, his modeling of flowers, his expression of the sort of the texture reaches sort of the apex, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 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 whatever Rachel did in terms of her painting of flowers, I think his modeling of those, I think he takes that a little bit farther. I think that's what I would say about Van Hysum. So as we go through his work, you're going to see if you zoom in a little bit, you'll kind of see there's some of his detail is really sort of off the
Those
wall.
tiny little snails.
Yeah, I mean, he'd really say, yeah, he's in terms of his sort of detail, it's just he's really one of the best to ever do it. Um,
Hmm.
but he starts out doing these very sort of dark, moody flower paintings.
Yeah.
So let go to number two, I guess. Two
Okay,
or three,
number
it doesn't matter,
two.
honestly.
Sick. I think that's this one.
Yeah, that's at the National Gallery. Okay, that's also in London. Beautiful little painting. It's very small, smaller than life. Just a knockout little piece.
Holy crap, that's smaller than life.
Oh yeah, it's a pretty small piece.
Look at that nest.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is 16 by 13 inches.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. Look at the leaf. Look at the leaf there.
Which one?
Right, left, right
This?
there. Zoom in on that a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, it's insanity, man.
yeah. It's pretty insane. And the little prickly thorns on the rose there. I mean,
Jeez.
so he really takes it to like almost absurd levels.
Every little hair on the stems.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty amazing. And in addition to all that, it's a beautiful composition. But pull out a little bit. One thing I want to show you with Van Hysum, now Rachel does this too, and other Dutch flower painters do this to some degree. But Jan really, one thing he really sort of, I think he takes it a little bit farther, especially in his later work, is zoom in on that white rose there.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd ask me that because I was dying to zoom in on it.
Yeah. So look next to it. Look at the orange flower next to it. This whatever this is, Gerbera or anemone. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah. I think I know what you're going to say.
What?
Just how unfinished it is.
No. Look at the contrast. So
Because over here, it's like, it's somewhat abstract.
well,
You'd never
I'll
think.
get to that in a minute.
Okay.
I'll get to that. I'll tell you why. Okay. If you ever set up a bouquet, you would notice that if you had a flower like this white flower here,
Yeah.
and to the right of it, you had a orange flower sitting behind it.
Yeah.
That whole flower would be in shadow. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that is weird.
So what he starts to really do this, and if you look, pan right a little bit at that red flower.
Yeah,
pan
there
right.
too.
See that? Right. So he starts to do that a lot more.
But is
where
it
he
because he's doing what you're doing in one flower at a time, or is he intentionally doing it?
Well, he's doing collage, same thing, but he starts, rather than just being faithful to what the light and shade would actually look like, he starts playing with this ideas of contrast. So rather than just having this all dark red, which would sort of, you can imagine if this dark red was butted right up against this dark tulip, right?
Yeah, it'd be so uninteresting.
Right. So he decides, okay, he starts doing this more and more, and you're going to see in his later work, he really
And the leaf too.
Yeah, right, exactly.
There's no cast shadow on any of these leaves.
There you go. Wait, now go back up to
But
that white.
but then it's dark over here.
I
Dude, there are no rules.
No rules, man.
What the heck? So when I was asking you about, aren't you worried about the lighting? Aren't you worried about the lighting? I'm completely clueless. There's no reason to worry about the lighting. I never would have noticed that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I studied it long enough, I probably would have, but not just enjoying it as a piece of art.
Yeah.
What the
So
crap, dude?
so the painting is realistic in a sense, but the lighting is not naturalistic. That's the important thing to know. And you're going to see further examples of this. It's
Wait
been
a
done.
minute.
Rachel
Okay.
does this too. Rachel does it. Other painters do it, but Jan takes it to levels really that nobody else did at that point.
Okay,
Um,
I'm looking for evidence that I believe because he's so good, I
yeah.
believe that he's doing this on purpose, but I want to find evidence that he's doing it on purpose. And I'll be 100% convinced if I find a place where he clearly did it with obeying light logic.
Well, he does it. He does sometimes. He
Like,
does
well,
obey
let's
light
find a
logic.
place. Okay, look like right here.
Yeah, there's a perfect
Well, yeah,
example.
there's one example. And right here, light logic.
Yeah, go up a little bit,
Yeah. Well, sorry.
or scroll up a little bit. Okay, now look at the poppy, the darker poppy on the right. That's curling down.
Yeah,
Right, that makes sense there.
that does make sense. And so does the leaf behind it.
Right. So that's the thing.
Dang.
You're when you're collaging. So look at this. Look at. So I can't use my cursor, but if you kind of circle the with your cursor, make a little oval, kind of circle around the white rose and the pale pink rose hanging down. You kind of circle around those. Okay, so that's your focal point. Okay,
Yeah.
those are your brightest flowers. Everything else, so those are typically in a Dutch flower painting. Those are the highest value flowers, usually found in that area, sort of a little bit off center to the left in that sort of middle
It's
zone.
totally golden mean in both directions.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's I never applied the gold mean to it, but I can tell you that that's sort of like the focal point, and that's where the brightest, highest value flowers with the strongest light go. As you
Hmm.
move away from there, everything tends to sort of drop off in value
Yeah.
and also in color. So if you look, the flowers on the outside, blue, gray, purple, red, you're moving down the color wheel the farther you get away. So you have yellow, light pink here. You have yellow. You have white, light pink here. Next to on the left side of the white rose, you have something that used to be bright yellow, which is now dull. So that's just due to faulty paint. Okay, that's
Oh, is that what's going on?
yeah. So that would have been King's yellow. It's something called King's yellow. Okay, and that King's yellow is an arsenic based paint that fades over time. Okay,
So that would have been brilliant yellow.
it would have been a bright yellow.
Oh,
Yeah.
what a shame.
Yeah. So, but you notice like white, light pink, yellow, orange. Okay.
Yep.
And then to move away from there, what you're going down the color wheel, red, blue, purple, right?
Right,
And you're
blue,
getting away.
purple.
So the farther out you go, the farther down the color wheel you go. You get that? And then the
Mhm.
closer to the core flowers here in the middle, where the bright ones are the, whites, yellows, light pinks, etc. Right?
Dude, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And how
that's-
faithfully did
that's-
they obey this formula?
Well, so
Or
really,
did he obey this formula?
well, he no, I mean, so you can always deviate from it,
Right.
and you'll see examples where these sort of, they don't always follow it to the letter, but you really see, like, specifically, I go back to Jan de Heem back in like 1640s, 1650s, that time frame. That's when you really start to see that becoming sort of something that's followed by other artists.
Right.
And then it sort of carries forward, and that becomes sort of like um, that's like the sort of the mature realization of the Dutch sort of flower template is this, the light flowers here in that particular area in the center, and then this descending descending down the color wheel as you get farther away from that that core group of flowers, reds, purples, blues.
I wonder how this would have worked if he didn't have that butterfly in there.
Which butterfly? The white? Oh, the
Or
white
the
one?
moth, the little moth, because that moth is just brilliantly placed.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. It's like everything. You look at anything. It's just like so perfectly put together. It's a really. I've looked at that piece quite a bit in London. I've just been in front of it. I've lectured in front of that piece twice, and it's a wonderful little piece.
Yeah, that's remarkable. That is gorgeous. I'm kind of curious about something here. I'm gonna do something a little different here. And I'm curious what it would look like if we took out that butterfly. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's like not half the painting. Just that one little thing, dude.
It does. It pulls that light, that light high value over into that, this dark, this area is so dark without that. It just boom.
Yeah,
Right there.
that's crazy.
Draws the eye. Yeah. Draws the eye
Yeah.
over to that dark area. Really nice, isn't it?
Man, yeah, that's amazing. Okay, I think that's 4.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
okay.
that's
so
insane.
yeah. So this is it should be a pretty high res photo. You can zoom in pretty far on this one.
Oh my gosh, where'd you get this photo?
I have my sources, Jeff.
That's insane.
We talk about, he's born in,
Okay, sorry, I got to cut you off. You have
Yeah,
a
go
vase
for it.
like this. You have a pot like this.
yeah, it's not quite as cool as that, but yeah, I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, sorry to cut you off there.
No, it's okay. So he starts out doing these dark paintings, but around sort of the period, I mean, look at the dragonfly.
Dying. It is so freaking insane.
It's insane. Oh, it's off the charts insane. That's why I told you. They're like, look at the little like moss and little,
What the
shit in the bird's
crap,
nest.
man?
It's insane. Like, who would think to put dragonfly wing there?
I hate this question, but I'm going to ask it because
What?
I got to know. Because you know better than anyone what it takes to paint something like this. What kind of hours would you predict this would take?
Oh, I mean, months. This is months of work. I mean, his career is I mean, let's say he's, from 20 to like, I mean, he had to say 40-year career, let's just say. I mean, probably under 100 works, I think, total. I mean, so, these paintings
Wow.
are taking months. Now, I haven't even done anything this big. I mean, I've done things with a lot of flowers, but this is still more than I've even done in any.
Do you have any ambition to do anything like this?
Sure. Yeah. It just really comes down to the time. I'm
This
doing
nest.
It's insane. Yeah. It's like really,
You got to
insane.
try a nest, man. I want to see
I
you
have
do a nest.
I have one sitting there staring at me. It's like ready to.
Oh, I can't wait to see it.
Oh, go down to the pill bug. Go back to the nest for a second. Look at the
Okay.
little pill bug. Okay. Go down from the egg. Down there. You see it at the bottom, the pill bug?
This guy?
Yeah. Look at it.
Oh my gosh.
Put a little dead pill bug in there.
That's insane.
I know. It's wild.
I don't know what it is because I'm not drawn to photorealism, right? But this is different because it's obviously not from photos, but
Right.
you would think as long as someone separates themselves from the photo to the degree that it doesn't look like it's from a photo, it would still be appealing. But for some reason, this level of detail in contemporary work doesn't appeal to me. But when I look at it here,
Yeah.
what is it about it? Is it the mark making? Because it's not exactly photographic. There's something about it that
It's not photographic. That's the thing. It's not.
it's not, but why? What is it?
Well, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't have the tonal structure of photographs. Like a photo, photographs are always tonally. They never seem to be quite right. Right? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's true. But also,
and
there's
then-
something about the mark making, like he's following the forms.
Right. That's something I'm always preaching when I'm teaching painting flowers. When you're painting a petal, lots of little lines to follow the form. So he's not just painting the shape of the petal. He's painting the veins. Right.
I think that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm being drawn to, because even though it's hyper realistic in a way, you still see the paint.
Yes.
It's still there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, man.
So he paints, right, the little veins. You really get to feel the texture of the difference between a peony and a rose and a tulip and the sort of rose leaf. I mean, as I say, he really sort of takes it to an unseen before level. Like no one's really ever painted flowers to this precision before.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. It's enough to just make you not want to do it, like make you quit. But at the same time, you can't. Like you look at this and you just say, okay. So it's inspiring also in that sense. It makes me want to get in the studio.
Yeah, these are remarkable, man. Holy
Yeah,
cow.
it's just so he's around this time, 1720s. He starts. He has a friend of his has a little, I guess, a little conversation with him and makes a suggestion to start painting his flowers on lighter backgrounds. That they would be it would highlight the flowers better, make for a better painting. So I guess he decides to take him up on this offer or this idea of painting on lighter backgrounds.
Yeah.
And so he starts making these lighter backgrounds. You see this sort of pale.
This would qualify as a lighter background?
Yeah. So his earlier works, kind of black.
I mean, it's still not that light though, right? That's why I wondered.
Light, but
right?
it's lighter.
Lighter,
and
yeah.
And he's got the sort of look at the marble ledge or the balustrade there.
Yeah.
Very, very sort of fancy, and he's got this nice this pot with figures on it. That's very sort of French inspired aesthetics. Okay.
Yeah. Even the highlights are drawn.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just
he
so
draws
good.
the highlights. He's not just throwing down a daub of paint.
Right.
He's getting the shape of the highlight.
Yep.
Dude. It's remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, and Ben Husum. So he, I really he's a guy that I look at his work. He's alone. I think he kind of made me want to be a flower painter and just really focus.
Really,
on a lot of flowers. Yeah. So he was probably the first. I mean, I looked at a lot of flower painters, but he was the one. The first one I really just I looked at his. I have a book of his work, and I mean. Not an exaggeration. I probably looked at that book every night or almost every night, read it and reread it, and just kept rereading the book for about
what are you
a year.
learning from reading it? Isn't it just about his life, or is it something
his
technical?
Life, there's also materials.
Okay.
Some of his materials, his paints that he used, and just anecdotes about how he worked.
Do you know the name of the book, and is it still available?
So in English, it's hard to come by. It's out of print, so it's super expensive. But it's called "The Temptations of Flora" by it's Jan van Husum, "The Temptations of Flora."
Okay.
It's by Sam Siegel. It's out of print, and last time I checked it, you can find a copy for over like $2,000.
Oh, freak! And you own one?
Yeah, I got it. I didn't pay that much. I paid a lot less. So
wow, lucky you, dude.
Yeah. That book was my Bible for a couple of years. I've probably read it through, 2 or 3 times.
Wow. God, this is remarkable. I don't
Oh yeah. It's
know
off the
that I've
charts.
ever seen a Dutch painting that I've liked this much. Like this is remarkable. I'm looking around to see if I can see, there are a few places like right here where he's doing what we talked about on the last painting,
right.
kind of screwing with the values, and maybe
go all
here.
the way right, go pan all the way to the right. Look at that anemone or on the very far right.
Wait, the right?
Yeah, right there, down.
This guy?
Right there. Yeah, look at the little edge there, the lit up edge.
Yeah. I was wondering if that's realistic or not.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the whole bouquet's in the way of the light. It's all
That's
coming,
true.
the light coming from the left. So that would be totally in shadow.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
I can't stop looking at this tulip. Holy.
Oh, it's awesome.
Dude, it's insane. Yeah, I could see why you want to be a flower painter. I kind of want to be one now.
Yeah. Dude, if you got a garden, man, start your garden and get going, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I know, right? This is remarkable. Yeah, unbelievable. So that's number 4, right?
Yeah,
so
go. You can go to 5, 6, whatever you can find. Go 5.
All right, let's see. 5 is right here.
Okay. So this is where he really so he starts going to these lighter backgrounds, and then he.
This has got to be a bad photo.
Yeah, it's not the greatest photo, but
it's too contrasty. I can't imagine this is okay.
It's probably not the greatest photo, but I have photos of varying quality. Some are better than others, but
right.
he's one thing about Van Husum is he was also trained as a landscape painter. So he's a decent landscape painter. I mean, he's pretty good at landscape painting. Not my favorite. They kind of look like, like that. There's sort of that Italianate landscape, sort of like it'd be like a forerunner to Hudson River painting or something like that.
Dark and
right?
brown and kind of moody.
They're not so much brown, but they just have that style where, sort of that pre-Hudson River style, where everything's sort of described really well. And
right.
Anyway, but so he knows how to paint landscapes, and he starts integrating parks and various landscapes behind his flower pieces. And he starts doing these very French sort of fancy marble plinths with the terracotta pot. And this becomes sort of his calling card.
Really?
So now, he's getting very, very famous and very well paid. He's selling these paintings for many thousands of guilders, 2, 3, 4,000. Maybe I've heard sometimes even up to 5,000 guilders, which is, many hundreds of thousands of dollars in today's money. So he's getting paid very, very, very well, and he's selling them to royals. These aren't cheap paintings.
That's unbelievable.
So Rembrandt for Rembrandt, the Night Watch. Right?
Yeah, of course.
Famous. So Rembrandt was paid 2,000 guilders for the Night Watch, from what I understood, or maybe 2,400, whatever it was, something in that
Wait, that's
range.
huge.
Big painting, huge painting.
And this is small, and he got 4,000.
This is painting, and he was paid. I don't know for this particular painting, but I know Van Husum's some of his more higher priced paintings supposedly were upwards of 3, 4, 5,000 guilders.
Holy piss!
Several times what Rembrandt was paid for the Night Watch.
You know what though? Rembrandt probably cranked out the Night Watch in the same amount of time that he did this.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's possible.
Just because of the way Rembrandt painted compared to the way he paints.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Well, I'm glad he was paid for. I mean, artists don't get paid for their time, but I'm glad he didn't waste his time and have to go hungry.
No, he wasn't. He was a very wealthy man when he died.
Yeah,
a lot of money, and quite an estate. So this really becomes his calling card. The sort of the park, the floral piece with the park background, and he does these really for the most of the rest of his career until he sort of tails off towards the end.
All right, let me see what we got. That's an earlier one. Yeah, contrast. Let me see. Yeah.
So you go up to like 7 or 8 now.
Yeah, we got that one is.
That's not a good photo. That's a fruit piece he does.
That's number 7, I think. And then we got.
Do you have 8? Let's see if you have 8. That's not a really good photo.
Is that 8?
That's
8. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, another park.
I like it better when he didn't do the landscape in the background.
Yeah. So landscape, it depends. Some of the landscapes I don't mind. Some of them were more described than others. Sometimes he gets a little bit more loose and atmospheric and almost sort of abstract, and other times they're a little bit more descriptive.
Yeah.
There should be go up to 9 if you can.
Let's see, number 9. Where is number 9? I don't know that I have number 9. What the heck? Oh, number 9. That's a looks like an old one or something. This
9, is that right? No, that's okay.
That's what you got is number 9.
Okay. We'll go to 10 then.
Okay. Let's see, number 10. Number 10.
Actually, stay on 9 for a second. Zoom in on this one. This one's super high res too. Zoom in on anywhere you want. You could really see some crazy detail here.
Jeez.
Yeah, look at that.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, look at the ant.
How big do you think that ant is? Is it life size?
Oh, maybe. I mean, this is an 8 by 10.
Now,
page.
why is this flower so transparent? Is that another issue with yellow?
Yeah, and it looks like it's probably been cleaned off partially too.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. But go up to the leaves. Go up to the top part. There's some leaves in the back. Yeah, like you can zoom in on them. You'll see when you really zoom in on. Look how much.
Not a lot of paint.
Yeah, and just painted right over the dark, right?
No joke.
Yeah.
How much of his technique have you found useful in your own work?
Well,
Whoops.
whatever I can decipher, a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially describing sort of describing flowers and sort of foliage. I've picked up quite a few insights, I think, just by studying his work, especially like the veining of the flower. That's really something I got from him. Really, how he describes the form of each petal via all those little veins.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Do you think artists ever used any kind of lenses or glasses or anything to magnify what they're working on, or was
I mean, I've wondered about his, he's either got really great eyesight, which is possible. Um, I mean, you got to keep in mind also, when you're doing paintings like this, you're collaging things, right? In a sense. So you're painting individual things up pretty close. You're not more than a few feet away from any individual object. Does that make sense?
yeah, but at our age, once you get a little bit older, you can't even look close anymore.
Well, I can still look close. So
Okay, good. Well,
maybe he had to also. I mean, I can still look close. I'm almost 50. He, I mean, if he's got, maybe he's, some people are naturally, they have Ted Williams. He said he had like 20/10 vision, right, or something, or
that'd be
crazy.
nice.
Like his vision, supposedly, like his vision was so good that he could see the spin of the ball as it came in from the pitcher, off the pitcher's hand.
Jeez.
Well, that's what they say anyway.
Yeah.
So some people, it could be, that like part of the magic is that the guy really just had exceptionally good vision. I mean,
Yeah, maybe a little bit of luck.
He got some good, good luck.
Yeah, but if you think about it, in a way, it's all good luck. Because if he didn't have great vision, highly intelligent, highly teachable, hard worker, these are all genetic gifts.
Yeah, and
it's like, geez.
And like he's born in the right place. Like
Yeah,
he's born
exactly.
in the Dutch Golden Age. So or just after the Dutch Golden Age, but I should say his career spanned into sort of past the end of the Dutch Golden Age. But he's in the right time frame where you can make paintings like this. You have access to the best pigments. Like you look at like Spanish still life. They're so dark and dull compared to these. So better pigments. You have people that can pay for them. And you have a sort of a high standard of living, compared to many other places in Europe or anywhere really.
Yeah. So when did he die? How old was he?
So he dies, I think it's 1749 or 1750, 1749.
I can't remember when you said he was born. He was 18 years.
1662. 1682.
82.
So like 82 to 49. So what is that? 67.
65 years or 67 years.
67. Yeah. He doesn't, not super old, but back then, pretty good for back then.
Yeah. So what's the latest painting you have here? Well, let's end on that. Do you know?
Yeah. So go to, so this is an interesting one. Go to 13.
13. Oh, that's the double one.
Yeah. So these are interesting. And if you want to go to like 11 or 12, you can see the individuals if you want to, but you don't have to.
Are they high res?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, let's start here.
Yeah. So these were recently, just like within the last year, auctioned at Christie's. These came up for auction.
Mm-hmm.
These were the last known paintings of Van Husum. These were done in 1744 and 1745. Okay, just 4 or 5 years before he dies. And so he often did fruit and flower pieces as a pair. So he'd do a sister painting. He'd have a flower painting and then do a sister painting with fruit. So he'd have.
Oh, interesting. Really?
Sort of pair them up. Yeah, did that very often. So a lot of his paintings
was that something unique to him, or was that something unique to the time?
I don't think it was unique to him. I think other painters did that.
Oh, okay.
He did that. He did a lot of that. Where,
mm-hmm.
Pendant pairs, essentially, pendant paintings. So he did these as a commission to a duke, and The Duke, so he was paid 2,000 guilders for these, I believe, which is pretty
Each?
considerable. No, not each.
So
for the
$1,000 a piece?
Yeah, so thousand guilders each. So let's say, I mean, I don't know, it could be 100,000 or more each back then.
Wow. And they're not big, right?
Not big, no. These are small paintings. They're 20 by 16 each.
Oh my gosh.
So he commissions them. It takes 4 years to deliver them. 4 years.
4 years.
Yes. So
was he doing any other painting during that time?
Probably not. He's towards the end of his career. He had really tailed off.
I guess when you're making that much money.
Yeah, he probably didn't really need that much money anymore. And maybe I heard different things. Maybe he was had lead poisoning or something. He was getting a bit eccentric in his old age. But he delivers the correspondence is that he said that he likes to paint from life and that he couldn't finish the one painting because he couldn't get this yellow rose here on the left. He was waiting for a yellow rose and he couldn't get that. And so it set him back a year or something. So anyways, he worked on these probably very sporadically over the course of 4 years, and he finally delivered them.
Wow.
And they came up for auction recently, just very recently in 2025, I believe. And I think the pair sold for, I don't know, it was like 1.6 million or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Although, frankly, there's a lot of art that sells for a lot more that I think is worth a lot less.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this would be a bargain.
Yeah.
You have people who pay $60 million for a giant blue square or something.
I know, right.
Blue rectangle. I mean, so 1.6 is actually pretty reasonable. Under $1 million for a Van Husum, essentially for each one. Some of his bigger pieces can sell upwards of like $2 or $3 million. When they come up, and I've seen some auction records, but so even today, 300 years later, he's still getting good prices for his work. And it seems like that's always been the case, even when he was alive and, 300 years later. So,
wow. That's awesome. Okay. I got to go back to end this on the one that was just that high res one. Which one was it?
Yeah. It was probably number 5 or 4 or 5, probably 4. Not that one. It was the one with the tan background. That one, yeah.
Oh my gosh, we got to end on this. Just another tour of this puppy. Oh my gosh, dude. I'll definitely be saving this file. Thanks for sending it to me.
It's a great one. It's an awesome. Such a variety, great variety of flowers. You have tulips, you have anemones, you have. Those are Aracula, Primula Aracula. What else we have here? We have different blossoms. I think these are apple blossoms or cherry blossoms here. Hyacinth up here. You got some. Yeah, I mean, you just got a whole variety.
And you know your flowers,
poppies.
Man.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
It's what you do.
If you want to paint flowers, you got to know them.
Would you say this is one of his best paintings? I mean, from what you've shown us today, I think this is the best. But this is just a small sampling.
Well, it's probably the best file I've given you. So
okay,
I don't know if I wouldn't say it's his best painting. No, I mean,
no.
I've seen others.
Oh my gosh, there are better ones.
Yeah, sure.
Jeez, dude.
I think so.
Oh man, well, I still want one of yours, man. It's the closest. I mean, first of all, I think you're at this level.
Oh man,
you're saying it makes you want to quit painting, but I think you're there, dude. I mean, your stuff is just next level. So to own one of yours
is nice to say. I mean, I don't think I'll ever feel that way.
You're not supposed to feel that way.
Yeah, I look at these that they feel impossible to me, but
you really think so?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I'm sure I'll always feel that way, but that's okay. That's why I keep going.
Oh man, I don't know. Yours are pretty remarkable, but gosh, well, thanks for doing this. I think it went well. What do you think?
Oh man, yeah, a lot of fun. Honestly, I could talk about this stuff all night. I don't get a chance to geek like this with with anybody. Like, just sit and talk about flower painting for hours. So it's a treat for me. Honestly.
Good. Well, maybe we'll have you back at some point. So see how people respond to this whole new thing. And let me know if you think of a better name than Artist on Artist.
Artist on Artist.
I can think of a great logo for that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll stick with it. Anyway. All right. Thanks again, Carlo. Good
Listen,
having you, man.
Seriously. Thanks, brother. I really appreciate it, man.
Thanks for tuning in to the Undraped Artist Podcast. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. And if you could, leave a comment or review. That really helps the channel. Please share the show with your friends, and if you're feeling generous, consider a monthly donation at theundrapedartist.com. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week.